Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another Hormonology tip. I'm Gabrielle Lichterman, founder of Hormonology, creator of the popular Hormone Horoscope Menstrual Cycle Tracker apps available at the App Store and Google Play, and author of 28 Days, What Your Cycle Reveals About Your Moods, Health, and Potential. 28 Days is available in paperback and ebook at Amazon.com. Today, I want to talk to you about creativity. Um, if you know anything about me, you know that my favorite thing to do is to learn about the hormonal effects in my cycle. But even more than that, learning how to take advantage of these hormonal effects to do everything better. So, it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like learning about a tool that's already inside our own bodies. And I liken it to, learning how caffeine works. So you learn how caffeine works. If you drink caffeinated coffee or tea, you know it's going to boost your energy. If you drink chamomile tea, the herbal non-caffeine tea, you'll know that chamomile tea brings down your energy. It can mellow you out if you're feeling anxious. It can help you go to sleep. Well, in the same way, if you understand how your hormones are impacting you from day to day throughout your cycle, you could take advantage of them. So, with caffeine, if you need a bump in energy, you drink more caffeine. And if you need to bring down your energy, you drink chamomile tea. Well, when you know how your hormones impact you, you can take advantage of them. So, on a day when your hormones are going to be revving your energy, you can maximize that. And when your hormones are bringing down your energy, you can either overcome it or embrace it, for better sleep, for instance. So, where am I leading with all this? Well, what I'm trying to say is there are two times in your cycle when creativity peaks. But I want to stress that you're creative all cycle long. You can come up with great ideas and be artistic all cycle long, throughout every single day of your cycle. However, because of your hormonal effects, there are two times in your menstrual cycle when it's just easier to be creative. And I want to share this with you because I want you to be able to take advantage of it. Just like you would take advantage of the effects of caffeine or the effects of chamomile tea, you could take advantage of these hormonal effects and do things better and make your life easier. So let's move on to today's hormonology tip, which is about creativity. So as I said, there's two times in your menstrual cycle when creativity peaks, but it's two different types of creativity. So this is kind of interesting. So let's start with brainstorming. Say you need to come up with a great idea, or you have to solve a difficult problem. Say you're trying to figure out how to launch a business, or you're trying to figure out how to fix something that's been nagging you. For instance, maybe your roommate hasn't been paying her share of the rent. How do you get her to do it? How do you convince her to do it? Or how do you get your business off the ground? If you need a great idea, there's a time in your cycle when you're coming up with great ideas more easily. And that is week 2 of your cycle. Week 2 of your cycle is the week leading up to and including ovulation. So on these days, why is it easier to brainstorm? Well, researchers believe that you come up with more ideas and more innovative ideas, more out of the box ideas during this phase in your cycle due to high and rising estrogen. Throughout your week 2, estrogen is high and rising. It's rising as it races toward ovulation. It gets higher and higher. And all this estrogen, as it climbs, speeds your mental abilities. It speeds your thinking. You're thinking more. You're thinking faster. You're coming up with more ideas. But more than that, the researchers also point out something else. They said, not only are you thinking of more ideas, rising estrogen is making you more open and more innovative because you're less critical of all the ideas that you're coming up with. You're more open to innovation, to something unusual, something untried, untested. During this phase of your cycle, week 2, which is the week leading up to and including ovulation, high and rising estrogen is pushing you to explore and innovate and try new things. So it's also boosting your mental powers and speed, so you're coming up with more ideas. Not only that, you're less critical of other people's ideas, so you can build on other people's ideas. So if you were going to look for a great idea or solution to a problem, I recommend taking time in your schedule during your week 2 to focus on that. So let's talk about the second time in your cycle when creativity peaks. This is a different type of creativity. This type of creativity is for the artists who are listening. Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you write like I do? Do you play music like my husband does? If you're artistic in any way and you have a menstrual cycle, there is a time in your cycle when it's easier to channel your inner muse. And this is your premenstrual phase. Your premenstrual phase are the 6 days leading up to your period. And I know they get a bad rap. I know these days get such a horrible negative message sent that they're the worst days of your cycle. But they don't have to be. Yes, sometimes they can be annoying, but there are actual positives, actual benefits to your premenstrual phase that a lot of people don't talk about. Well, one of them is this heightened creativity when you are working on an artistic project. Now, let me tell you why. During your premenstrual phase, your estrogen is dropping. And this puts you more in touch with your emotions. You're more emotionally sensitive. You're thinking more deeply. You're reflecting on the past. You're thinking about the future. All of this combines to help you focus on issues that are very important to you, emotions that you feel much more deeply and that you can channel into your art. You're a little bit more introspective on these days. So you're thinking about what you want and what you need and what hurts you or what makes you thrive. And you can channel this into your art. Now, I think it's interesting that on these premenstrual days, as estrogen is descending, you're creative artistically. And as estrogen is high and rising in your week 2, you brainstorm better. I think it's just really interesting how the two different roles estrogen plays in the two different types of creativity so that we can embrace our hormonal effects all cycle long. I mean, this really proves that just because estrogen is high and rising, it doesn't mean it's the best days. It just means these are days when you are experiencing certain effects. And then when estrogen is plunging, it doesn't mean these are the worst days. It just means these are days when you're experiencing other hormonal effects. I love this because it helps me appreciate and enjoy my cycle every day. Because I love to take advantage of every tool that makes my life better, I wanted to add a couple of other tips. The first is during your week 2, I like to zero in on times when my brainstorming is at its best because I come up with a lot of ideas. I'm considered the idea lady. If you know me, if you're friends with me or you're related to me, you know I'm always giving you ideas. Do this, do that. I love ideas. Okay, so during my week 2, I use a tool. I use a few tools, but this is one of my favorite. This is a pad that goes into the shower. You can see I've already used it. It's got a lot of pages missing and already written on it, but it's called Aqua Notes. I don't sell this, but it's available on Amazon, and I'm sure there's other things like it. But what it really is it's a waterproof pad with a pencil, and as you're showering, you can write your notes. Now, I like this because I get so many ideas when I'm taking a shower. I think it's because, I'm just distracted, and it's just a totally different environment, so it shakes me out of what I'm doing. I'm also not in front of my computer, so I'm not distracted by, other stuff that I'm reading. It's really just me and my brain alone with my Aqua Notes. So I love this. You can get this at Amazon, and that's really helpful. So if you know that, week 2 is when you brainstorm the best, do other things to make your brainstorming even better. Another thing that helps with brainstorming is just getting out of the house and going for a walk. And another thing that helps with brainstorming is seeing the color green. A study published in the journal Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin. I'd have that up. I would never remember the name of that journal. Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin proved that people who were trying to brainstorm great ideas came up with more creative and ingenious ideas when they saw the color green. So I wore the color green today for you. to help you with your brainstorming. So you can watch this video again during your week 2, if it's not your week 2 already, and come up with more great ideas. Well, I hope this helps you take advantage of your cycle and the hormonal effects that come with it, because really what's happening is we have this amazing tool inside us, and if we are shown how to use it, we can make every single day of our cycle better. I'm sure of it. If you have any questions, give me an email, Gabrielle@myhormonology.com, or, ask me in the comments section below. Subscribe to my channel, blah, blah, blah. Of course, download my app, the Hormone Horoscope app. It gives you a daily summary of how your hormones are impacting you every day. I have a free version, the light version. I have a pro version. It's a nominal fee, $199 once, and it's much more detailed. I like the pro version of the Hormone Horoscope app, but what I love most, of course, is my new book, 28 Days, What Your Cycle Reveals About Your Moods, Health, and Potential. It's just so comprehensive. It works just like a daily hormone horoscope. You just open it up to the day you are on in your cycle, day 4, day 17, day 22, and it has categories. You just go to the category to see what your hormones are doing for you and with you for that day, and you'll know what your day is going to be like. And if you are a skeptic and you think that, if I read about my hormonal effects at the start of my day, well, then I'm just, going to see those hormonal effects in my day. It's not going to be real. I say this. Read your hormone horoscope at the end of your day. If you're new to hormonology and you are a skeptic, hey, I'm a skeptic. I totally get it. It takes me a lot to believe stuff. But if you're a skeptic, read your hormone horoscope at the end of your day and then compare to what happened in your day. Hormonology, 28 Days, my hormone horoscope apps are all based on science. It's all based on thousands of studies. I'm a women's health journalist. I've been doing this for more than 20 years. So I know the science is solid. And I know that you're going to enjoy what you read. So if you have any questions, want more information, go to my website, myhormonology.com, and I'll hopefully see you again next week.